Can I survive 24 hours of horror movies? And I'm not even talking about sitting at home. I'm talking about traveling to Chicago, Illinois, meeting up with some friends, sitting in a movie theater, watching horror movies for 24 hours straight. Is it even humanly possible? I'm scared, but you know, the Halloween season is about facing your fears no matter how terrified you might be. Can I do it? Come with me on this vlog and let's find out. What's going on, everybody? Welcome again to the COBWEBs channel. My name is Daniel. I'm seated here with Chris from the Figure Out Films channel. How's it going, Chris?
Going good, man. We're trying to figure out some movies today.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we are headed to the Music Box Theater in Chicago. I'm actually at Chris's place in Chicago right now. That's why my background looks different. But we're headed to the Music Box Theater for the Music Box of Horrors, which is a 24-hour marathon of horror movies. And we're going to try to watch every single one, aren't we?
Yeah, last year I got to do it was only for half of the marathon, and I barely made it. So I think we're going to be, with some support here, we're going to be able to do it. Because there's a whole bunch of horror nuts there.
Yeah, this actually isn't my first 24-hour marathon, but it's my first time at the Music Box Theater, at the Music Box of Horrors. I've wanted to go to that theater for a long time, so I am super excited. And it's kicking off at noon, and then it goes until noon on Sunday. So with all that said, let's head out. Let's go check it out.
Let's go watch some film.
And my mind's blowing out, voices haunting me, and I began to shout. I said,
Okay, we've been having a blast walking around the Music Box Theater, checking out the vendors. What'd you got, Chris?
Got Gorgo on 4K, brand new from Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah, what'd you get that for?
$20 brand new.
That's insane. You would never get it that cheap online, not anywhere.
Check your local Music Box Theater.
Absolutely. Yeah, I haven't bought anything yet, just having so much fun looking around. Chris, what's your most anticipated movie of the marathon?
It's got to be Child's Play 3 still. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, I think for me it's Burnt Offerings, 1970s haunted house movie directed by Dan Curtis. I've been meaning to see that for a long time. But also we get to see House of Usher, Fall of the House of Usher, excuse me, silent film with live accompaniment. I'm really excited for that too.
Super excited. Nothing like starting the day off with like a live performance for free.
Absolutely.
Dream last night that filled me full of fright. I dreamt that I was with the devil below in his great big fiery hall where the devil was giving a ball. I checked my coat and hat and started gazing at the merry crowd who came to witness the show. And I must confess to you, there were many there I knew at the devil's ball. At the devil's ball. At the devil's ball. At the devil's ball. I saw the cute Mrs. Devil's pretty and fat, dressed in a beautiful violet hat. Abraham, the leader man who led the band last fall. What did he do? He played the music at the devil's ball. At the devil's ball. In the devil's hall. In the devil's hall. I saw the funniest.
Okay, it's 5:18 p.m. We have made it 3 movies in. The first movie we saw was Fall of the House of Usher from the 20s, silent horror film, adaptation of the Edgar Allan Poe story. What'd you think about that one?
It was okay. I don't think I'd enjoy it as much if it didn't have the live band playing.
Yeah, they had a live band doing the score, which was basically kind of like a experimental jazz, I might say, and that was really cool. I found the movie slow and not super interesting. I kind of struggle with a lot of silent horror films, and I kind of felt the same about this one. And then after that, we watched Burnt Offerings from the 70s, directed by Dan Curtis. I went into it thinking it was a haunted house movie. I wouldn't say it's exactly a haunted house.
It felt like Amityville without as much of the good stuff of Amityville.
Oh, okay. Well, what'd you
Yeah.
think of it?
It was all right. It wasn't like my cup of tea, but there were some things. I think that third act is really good. But other than that, I mean, it was all right.
I loved it. I was a huge fan of Burnt Offerings. It's the movie to beat so far. Fantastic Oliver Reed performance that's like so hammy and over the top. I just had such a blast with that. It does have a killer ending, and I thought it was interesting enough, but it's definitely a slow burn till it builds up to something really amazing at the end.
What did you think of the transfer with the film? Because it was a really old film reel that was really grainy and it blew out on a few scenes. So I thought that kind of added to the charm of it. But
yeah, it's a first run 35mm print, which is pretty cool. And it was it had character to it, you know? It had a lot of like red specks throughout it, and it didn't bother me, but I am looking forward to rewatching it when it's on Blu-ray at home. And then we went and we got some lunch at Subway because it was quick, it was right nearby, and because of that we missed the very beginning of Ozone, which is a shot on video straight to VHS 90s movie that they actually projected on a VHS tape. What'd you think about Ozone?
I think that's the movie to be right now.
Okay.
That was a good ass time. It was a mix of like scanners and like taking like small aspects of like Hellraiser and like other like zombie movies and like that, and it just was really cool.
Yeah, it's clearly really low budget. They did not have a lot of resources.
Actually, the actor said it was shot for $3,500. That was the budget.
Unbelievable. But the thing is, like, they did so much to keep you entertained. Like, they just have so much crazy stuff, crazy special effects. It almost felt like it was made by special effects guys. Like, it felt like the entire crew, like, all they put their effort into is special effects. But that means there's just so much crazy stuff in there that I was definitely consistently entertained.
Yeah.
And that's the struggle with movies without much resources. You think it's just going to be super slow, and this wasn't. So I really enjoyed that. Next up, we're watching Mike Mendez's The Convent from 2000, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I've heard it's pretty crazy. It's about, like, you know, a convent, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it before. It's early 2000s, so I mean, hopefully I'm waiting for something to really jump me into my seat a little bit. So.
Yeah. By the way, how is your seat feeling?
Not too bad. I brought a pillow for my back, you know.
Okay, good. You're not tired? You're not run down yet at all?
No, I was getting a little bored at times, but like
Okay.
I was like trying to get back into the movies. But.
All right, I'm feeling good. I'm pumped. Let's do this thing.
Crucify me, baby, and tell me I should die. When you think you can love me, and I think that's the lie. Well, 'cause you're standing by me, you just can't seem to go. Whoa. Maybe tomorrow you will know. Well, maybe then you'll tell me so. You say that you're at home now, wherever that may be. You think you're going out soon.
Okay, it is 8:40 p.m. We are 5 movies in, which is like out of 14 movies, so
Yes,
there's a long
yes.
way to go. Okay,
Matt, by the way, this is Matt. He's from the host of the Film Piece podcast. Say hi, Matt.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
What do you think of the experience so far?
It's been really good so far. It's been really, really good. We feel good, I think, so far.
Yeah.
5 movies in. Well organized. Everything's going well. So I'm having a great time.
How you feeling about the seats?
Okay so far.
It's not too bad. Yeah, my back's starting to hurt a little bit. We're 5 movies in. Are you feeling tired?
No, shockingly no. I'm
good.
Ask me again in like 5 hours. We'll see how it goes.
I almost thought I was feeling tired, and then the third act of Wreck kicked in. Since we last talked, we've got 2 more movies. We watched The Convent from 2000. What do you think of The Convent?
The Convent was amazing. I had never seen The Convent. I'd put off watching The Convent. I'm glad because it played so good with the crowd.
Yeah, no, it really did. It's basically Night of the Demons. Like, it's so close to Night of the Demons, except it's also got Adrian Barbeau with a shotgun, which is really great.
Amazing, yeah.
It's super funny. It's so comedic. I had a great time. Like, talk about a perfect movie to watch with a crowd of horror fans. So much fun. And then we watched Wreck, which you had seen before.
I've seen once and forgot how intense it was.
Oh, okay.
Until we watched it again with a crowd. It was insane.
Well, it makes sense that you've seen it because it's kind of a modern horror classic, and I had never seen it, and it was fantastic. Like, for a while I wasn't so sure because it doesn't have a lot of story or characters going on. It's just kind of putting you into the perspective of a horrible situation. But as the horrible situation escalates, it kind of feels like almost like going through a haunted house attraction or something.
It is a little bit like that, especially the people grabbing you and trying to reach out and grab you, and then it's the most intense, like insane, like last 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
I forgot how scary it is.
Insanely intense. Yeah, I had so much fun. It definitely got the adrenaline pumping. So I'm ready. The next movie we're watching is Eight Eyes.
Which is, I think, like a world premiere. Like, it's like a Vinegar Syndrome produced movie that put a few festivals, but it hasn't played much, so that's exciting.
Yeah, pretty exciting. It's a brand new movie. I think it played a Fantastic Fest, but I'm not sure. But yeah, let's go see what Vinegar Syndrome has to offer us.
I'm excited.
Okay, just stepped outside. There's a movie going on right now called Haze that's supposedly really hardcore, and it's 1:12 in the morning right now, and I don't know that I'm really in the mood. Plus, it's really short, so it kind of seems like a good time to take a little break. But 2 movies have played since I last talked to you. We watched The Eighth Eye, which is, I think, the first true Vinegar Syndrome produced movie. Of course, Vinegar Syndrome is a boutique label that releases older movies, but this is a brand new film. And, you know, I liked it. It was interesting. It was unique. It was definitely well done, especially when it comes to the performances. And it's shot on film. All the effects are practical and everything's in camera. It's very well done in many ways, and it's very unpredictable. I'm constantly guessing where it's going. It's basically about this couple who, their marriage is on the rocks, but they're traveling in Serbia. And they run into a guy who kind of attaches himself to them, and they start traveling together, and they can't get rid of him. And weird things happen with that guy. I definitely don't want to spoil it. I think it's definitely worth a watch if you want to watch something that's probably going to disturb you. I don't think it's the kind of thing I would ever watch again, particularly because of the uncomfortable feelings it gave me, which I'm glad I got to experience once in a theater in like one of its premieres, but probably not going to watch it again. And then we watched Candyman, which is just a phenomenal movie, and seeing it in the theater, it just felt better than ever. The booming score, Tony Todd's reverberating voice just booming over the speakers. It looked beautiful. It was a 35mm print. Really, really enjoyed it. But yeah, after this movie Haze plays, we're gonna watch Demon Witch Child, which I believe is a Spanish movie. It's from the guy who made the Tomb of the Blind Dead movies. And it sounds bonkers and really fun. I mean, Demon Witch Child, you know I've got to see that. They said that it's like a really good palate cleanser, just a bonkers movie to take you through the middle of the night, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm feeling pretty good, just really need to stretch my legs, so I'll just take a walk around, take in the sights, and be back for Demon Witch Child. So let's do this.
I tried to talk it out, but your mind was closed. I threatened walking out, and you turned up your nose. Well, I've tried everything I can, there's nothing else to do. You backed me in a corner, now I'm gonna have to kill you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to kill you.
Okay, it's 3:25 in the morning. Got Chris, got Matt. We've also got our buddy Larry back here from the Real Early podcast. How's it going, Larry?
Oh, I'm tired.
You having a good time?
Oh, great time.
Cool. Okay, since I last talked to you, some of us saw Haze. I didn't watch Haze. How was Haze, Matt?
Okay, let me say this. It's well made. It's interesting. Maybe not the best thing to watch at 1 a.m, but it was. I don't know.
Kind of an
weird.
extreme Japanese
It
horror
was
movie.
extreme for a little bit, then it kind of got existential, and I got very tired.
Yeah.
I literally just yawned on camera.
From the perspective of
real.
someone who left a stretch halfway through the movie and talking with him after, I think the first half was its strongest point too. So I felt warned enough to put
Okay.
it on
That's
Letterboxd.
all the good stuff, Chris.
Yeah.
I saw 5 minutes of it.
Oh, then put it on Letterboxd, Larry. You're good.
I woke up to a guy with his teeth on a pipe.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, nice.
So good.
Okay, and then we saw Demon Witch Child. I watched that. That's from the mid 70s. I think it's a Spanish movie. And you gotta admit, it lives up to the title because that movie definitely has a demon witch child in it.
It does.
100%.
It has a lot of witchiness. It's got a lot of witches doing rituals in the woods, which is lots of fun. It's kind of an Exorcist ripoff because you got a possessed girl, but she's possessed by a witch. And definitely the craziest thing about the movie is the dialogue, right?
Yeah.
Oh, by far.
I also
Yeah.
missed it.
Oh, you missed it?
Why am I in this
Okay.
video? I don't know.
Most people left. I think
I
I'm
can
one of the
see-
few that stay away from the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's just say I could see David Gordon Green ripping this movie off and passing it as his own work.
that's the new reboot.
I was mostly awake. I dozed off towards the middle for a little bit, but I missed something. What did I miss?
You missed the main character
Yep.
cut a man's penis off and deliver it as a gift.
That's beautiful.
That's the gift that keeps on giving.
I can't believe I missed that.
Sells the whole movie.
A lot of the movie is just watching a kid say obscene things, and that's where most of the bonkerness comes from. Did you guys like it?
I can't even judge anything at this point.
I don't know.
Also, the film print was in horrible shape.
Oh, yeah.
The
I
worst
love
print I've ever seen. It was just pink. Every color was a shade of pink. It's basically a black and white movie, but pink.
I like when movies are like that, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you?
You do?
Also,
Also,
it
most of the time I-
stopped working for a minute. It just cut out.
Most music box movies I see, it's like that in some
I
aspects.
saw Poltergeist in pink. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. How are you? I'm kind of shivering, so the
I
camera's
know, we're
shaking.
cold.
Daniel's like, it's gotta be
All right, the next thing we have is Sorority House Massacre.
Yeah,
So at least there'll be
Fun?
some Sorority House shenanigans.
I've seen it. I don't really like it. I think I'm gonna pass out. How you guys feeling?
I got coffee,
I'm
so
awake
that's
for
good.
it now.
Piranha 2 is going to kill everyone. I'm just telling you right now.
Hey, never bet against James Cameron.
Well, that's true. If he actually directed it.
I'm shivering. I'm yawning. We'll see you later. It's 3 in the morning. 3:30. Okay, so we're back at Chris's place. It's time to answer the question, did we survive 24 hours of horror movies in a movie theater with extraordinarily uncomfortable seats? No, we did not. We came close. I think we did pretty good, but we didn't quite do it. It's 9:30 in the morning, Sunday morning right now. And basically what happened is we finished Child's Play 3. We'll get to a recap on the rest of the movies that we saw. And that's a really good closer. And we got to talking about what to do next. And the next movie was Frailty, which is a good movie. I totally acknowledge that. I've seen it. It's good. But I almost feel like that movie is as much a horror movie as it is like a prestigious drama. And like, I'm sorry guys, I don't have the brain power for that right now. I don't feel like you do either.
No, and I didn't even know that movie existed until it was explained to me.
Yeah, I think that's a movie for a different time of day and a different frame of mind. They were going to show Casper after that, and I kind of wanted to see that, but we ended up just going home, and our plan is we're going to watch Casper tonight because like it's never a bad time to watch Casper, especially in October.
Yeah, and my TV's bigger than the screen there.
His TV is pretty good. So what we're going to do first, before we do a little recap, is just do a little haul video on the Blu-rays we picked up. Now, you just picked up the one which you already showed.
Yeah. So excited to have this.
Gorgo. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome. I also only bought Vinegar Syndrome stuff. There was other stuff there. Severin was there. I was really hoping they would have the Peter Cushing Curiosities box set, which is coming out in November. Thought they might have it early. They didn't. They disappointed. But this one I bought directly from Vinegar Syndrome. Moon of the Wolf. It's a 1970s werewolf movie. And I don't know. I wasn't planning to get this. I was only barely aware of the movie. But I was at the table. I saw it. I'm like, okay, it's a 70s TV werewolf movie. That sounds like something I'm totally down to check out. And I just kind of like the idea of buying something from the Vinegar Syndrome table just because I was there, just because I like the cover. Like, I just thought that's an experience, that's an opportunity I don't get very often. So I picked it up. But after I got it, I looked it up on Letterboxd and realized it was already in my watch list because you guys recommended it to me in the comments of my top 15 werewolf movies video. So now I'm extra excited to check this out. So I'm sure this will be in my end of October wrap-up video. And then not from the Vinegar Syndrome table, but from a separate table that's actually run by a guy you know who was super nice. He was selling just a bunch of miscellaneous Blu-rays, a lot of them for pretty good prices. And I got Count Dracula's Great Love. Great Love? Yes, I almost thought it was like Last Love or something. Yeah, this is a Paul Naschy movie, and I've been aware of it for a long time. I've been wanting to check out more Paul Naschy, but hadn't seen it. I love Dracula movies, you guys know. And I'm pretty sure, I haven't double checked, but I'm pretty sure this slipcover is out of print. So we had the slipcovered edition for $20. That's like a Black Friday sale price for Vinegar Syndrome. So I thought that was a good deal. So I picked those up. Hey, Daniel from the future jumping in here to complete the Blu-ray haul section of this video. Reason being, after we filmed everything for this video, Chris and I went out Blu-ray shopping to a couple of stores he knew about and actually found some really great deals. So I didn't want to leave you out of that. And because one of the points of this vlog is talking about movies in interesting locations, I just decided to come out to my back porch just for the fun of it. The first store we went to was really more of a gaming store, but they did have some Blu-rays and for some really good prices. I just picked up one there. I got Monster House. This was only $3. Kids Halloween movie from Amblin. I believe it's stop motion animated, and I usually watch it every Halloween season mostly, and it's a really fun one. Then we went to an amazing store called Reckless Records that had tons of stuff, such good prices. I got an Angel for Satan. This is a Severin Blu-ray, and it was only $14.99. Slipcovered. It's one of their nice slipcovers, not one of their, they used to be really bad at slipcovers, and now Severin's really good at it. Yeah, only $15. This is a Barbara Steele Italian Gothic film. Apparently, it's the last film in her Italian Gothic period. Really fun synopsis on this. When a cursed statue is removed from a villa's lake, a young heiress, played by Barbara Steele, will inflict a torrent of depraved seduction and homicidal madness on the local village. That sounds interesting. That sounds pretty darn fun. So I'm really, really excited to check that one out. An Angel for Satan. Then the only Toy Story movie that I didn't own, Toy Story 2, which is weird because I think it's my favorite, but I got it for only $3.99. You know, Pixar, Disney Blu-rays can be kind of expensive. Was waiting for the right price, and that was definitely the one for this. Gretel and Hansel. I saw this one in theaters and thought it was like pretty good, but I've been wanting to rewatch it and give it another chance because a lot of people were recommending it in the comments of my Witch video that I recently did. And yeah, this was only $4.99 with a slipcover. Slipcover's not in great shape, so I might just do away with that. But really excited to watch this one again. It wasn't free streaming anywhere, and the Blu-rays tended to be kind of expensive, so finding it for $5 was definitely quite a find. And the most exciting thing that I got here, I got Indicators Mexico Macabre box set. Still got the price sticker on there. I need to get that off. But yeah, it's 4 Mexican horror films. I think they're all from the 1960s. We've got Black Pit of M, The Brainiac, The Witch's Mirror, and The Curse of the Crying Woman. I'm probably going to dive into this one right away. Okay, there we go. I got the sticker off, slide off that signature indicator band that they got around there. Look at that awesome artwork. Let's check out a few of these in here while we're at it. There we go. Looks like they got the original Mexican titles on here, so I'm not sure which is which. Very cool. Yeah, like I said, probably going to dive into this one right away. There's like 2 booklets, or a booklet and postcard. I might have to do a video on this one, honestly. Oh, did I even mention the price? Yeah, this was $29.99. I looked it up on eBay and found the cheapest I could find was $65. So unbelievable price for an Indicator box set. Then a few VHS tapes. I found The Thin Man for $1.99, classic murder mystery, and a couple of VHS tapes that Chris gave me because he didn't want them anymore. The original Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney, always down to get a classic horror VHS. And for nostalgic purposes, this is the Incredible Hulk TV show from, I think, the 90s, possibly 2000s. But yeah, just a little nostalgia piece. So with all that said, let's jump back in time and continue talking about the marathon. Okay, so recap the final movies. Last we talked to you, we saw Demon Witch Child. Oh, what a movie. And then next they played Sorority House Massacre. How much of that did you see?
I saw maybe the first act of the movie, and once the killer escaped, I watched just the beginning parts of that and fell asleep. And not because the movie's dull, but it was just late. And honestly, it was a little uneven in terms of like tone of the movie. Like if it's gonna be like a sorority slasher, I wanted it to own that, but it didn't feel like it wanted to completely.
It's got some weird like psychic stuff going on there too.
Yeah, I think I liked the lead a lot. I thought that she was pretty. I felt like the guy who introduced the movie said you're gonna oddly care about the lead in some ways, and I definitely did, but I just could not keep up for it. So
middle of the night. I'd seen it before. I remember thinking it was okay, but as I was watching the beginning, I thought, is this actually better than I remembered? Because there's like a getting dressed sequence that's really funny, like total 80s cheese, pure 80s cheese. But I barely saw any of the movie. I kind of felt like I was like sleep in and out because the chairs were so uncomfortable. It was hard to sleep. But then the movie ended and I realized I barely saw any of that. So I pretty much slept. Next up, they showed Piranha 2, The Spawning, or as I like to call it, James Cameron's Piranha 2, The Way of Water. And I was not looking forward to this because like it's a summertime horror movie and it's not my vibe for October. It's like a Jaws kind of thing, you know? Yeah. And I've seen Joe Dante's Piranha, and I think it's okay, but I never felt the need to check out the sequel. I know James Cameron was fired off Piranha 2. He disowns the movie. Here's the thing. I kind of got a second wind as it started, and I was really enjoying it. And I was thinking, is this better than Piranha? Because I liked the characters better than I did in Piranha. And there's a love triangle going on with a woman and her husband who she's separated with and this new man she met. And I cared about that love triangle. I was like invested. And I was like, this movie's pretty good. And the piranhas fly because they're like mutant piranhas, which is so ridiculous. But when Lance Henriksen says, these bastards can fly, I believed it. I was like, yes, I believe that. But then I slept through the second half. I didn't want to, but I woke up and the movie was over and I was like, damn it. I missed it. Did you see any of Piranha 2?
I fell asleep at the part when they sprawled out and started flying, and then they hit this glass and started killing people, and everyone's just staring at them. Like that's when I unfortunately started falling asleep because it got slow after that. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by it too. It might be my Jaws at some point. But,
I'm definitely going to finish Piranha 2. I'll seek it out and finish out the movie and see what I think. But I really like the first half. Then was Child's Play 3, which we were really looking forward to because you really like Child's Play 1 and 2 and you've never seen 3. Yeah. And I'm a fan of it. And it felt like when that movie started, they just cranked the sound up. It's like they were telling everybody, and it started like at like 6:30ish. Yep. It's like they were telling everyone, okay, for those of you who napped, it was okay that you napped, but it's over now. Nap time is done. It's time to wake up and watch Child's Play 3. And you know what? It worked. They also started selling coffee and donuts at that time. I got some coffee and donuts. And I had a great time watching Child's Play 3. I'm a big fan of that movie. I think it's underrated. I don't get why people dislike it because I like the military school setting. Yeah. It's kind of weird that their idea for Child's Play 3 was like, what if Platoon, but with Chucky? Like, okay, there's even a dramatic scene where a kid jumps on a grenade and it really feels like a war movie directed by Mel Gibson or something.
Yeah. I mean, when you start to factor in, oh, this is like a boarding school, like, or like a military boarding school, it's like, it's really dark. Like,
yeah,
you know, like,
and it's like Lord of the Flies, where there's barely any adults around and the kids are in charge.
Yeah, I definitely think that that trilogy is airproof. Like, it's bulletproof. Like,
I totally agree.
Yeah, I think if you watch the first Child's Play, you're fine, but I feel like you're really missing out in that rest of that trilogy.
But what a closer, right? What an ending. Great climax.
Yeah, that movie played so well in the morning. You know, it would fit so well in like a midnight movie or like an 8 p.m. movie. But I never would have thought it'd play so well. I was actually dreading at the time when it was announced that that's the time. I was a little bummed out because I wasn't sure if I was going to be ready for it. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd be deprived of enjoying it as much. But that second one hit me then, and I had coffee, so nothing stopped me then.
Yeah, it worked out. It was a good closer, and we headed back home, and we're going to watch Casper tonight. So overall, man, what was the experience like for you? How'd you feel about it?
It was great. A really, really awesome playlist of movies.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did the 24-hour marathon this time around versus the half marathon. I feel like if I just went and did the half marathon by myself, I would be a little bit more bummed out than I was last year. But last year I wasn't even bummed out, but I would think I would have been bummed. So if you can do the 24-hour marathon, it is definitely worth it, but you gotta go with people you know. Like people you enjoy being with, because I think that just adds to the experience more.
I do think I overall just liked the crowd, though. It was nice being in a giant crowd of like-minded people who are like reacting to these crazy movies that, you know, I never get to see in large groups like that. So that was good. I thought the programming was really solid. I thought they made good choices. A lot of stuff I didn't know, hadn't seen, and I thought pretty much everything worked out. I think the worst movie we saw was Demon Witch Child, but even that definitely had its entertainment value for sure. And I think it would have been better if the print wasn't in such horrifically bad shape. For me, the highlights, for new discoveries, it was definitely Burnt Offerings, The Convent, and Wreck. Burnt Offerings, just like, I think that's the movie that like caters to my taste the most, that I feel like I would rewatch the quickest. The Convent, just the most fun in terms of being a part of a crowd of horror fans and just having a blast, just going nuts. And then Wreck, the scariest experience. Like if you're going into a horror movie to get scared, to jump, to get really tense, Wreck is the one. But for rewatches, Child's Play 3 and Candyman were phenomenal rewatches. I mean, I feel like I've never loved Candyman more than today.
Yeah, I think Child's Play 3 was it was definitely the one I was most anticipated for, and it delivered on everything. I love rewatching Wreck with a crowd because I'd seen that movie at home and it was still scary then. Works so well with a crowd.
I was jumping, like I really was.
It sometimes could be a little risky playing a found footage movie, but that's like the perfect one. Like, just because it's so well made and it's genuinely scary.
Yeah, just huge shout out to the Music Box Theater. I thought they did a great job. They even got, they made sure we had food, because I've done a marathon, The Massacre at the Patio Theater before, which I don't think exists anymore. And they didn't make it easy on people. Like, they didn't make sure there was food there. You couldn't bring in outside food and drink. Like, it was more difficult. And they made it easy on everybody. And they made sure we had a great time. And even just like the times when the guy would come out and introduce the movies, like I looked forward to that because his introductions were great, informative, funny, and he was a good hype man to get me excited. So yeah, I had a great time, even though we didn't quite make it 24 hours, maybe one day. But anyway, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, let us know down in the comments below. You can subscribe for more videos like this. Make sure you check out the Figure Out Films YouTube channel and the Inside the Sequel podcast from my buddy Cris. Make sure you check out the Film Feast podcast with my buddy Matt. And make sure you check out the Real Early podcast with our buddy Larry as well. I'm going to have all those links in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. With all that said, don't forget to get some sleep and also enjoy your spooky, scary October. We'll see you next time.